Hello and welcome back to the TFL3, and today I am about to make a very weird journey. See, I'm going between two stations that are less than 2.5 kilometers apart. However, by train it's going to take me over 2 hours to get between them. And no, this isn't a pointless journey. This is genuinely the fastest route between these two stations by rail. And even by bus it's only like an hour and a half. So what gives? Why does it take so long to get between these two stations? Well, haven't said where I am yet, but I am in Tilbury, and I am going to Gravesend. And you can probably already see the problem. The Thames is in the way. So I'll have a talk about how it used to be easier to get between these two places, and why it doesn't look like it's going to get any easier anytime soon. Let's go. Okay, so first thing to mention is where I am and where I just recorded the intro right by the Thames isn't actually awfully near Tilbury town station. I'm about a 20-minute walk away. And there is a bus that takes the route, but I will just walk it because I don't fancy paying the money. So I'm just going to walk through Tilbury's busy shipping container area instead, and then get to Tilbury town to get our first train. Here is where the ferry used to depart from, but no longer.
Hang on, what's this about a ferry? I think I need to explain. There's been a ferry doing this crossing between Tilbury and Gravesend for centuries, with evidence of its existence going as far back as 1571. In 1852, it was taken over by the London, Tilbury and Southend Railway for use by its customers, the rights to which were eventually passed down to the eastern region of British Rail, which operated it until 1984. In that year, it was privatised, but it did receive a subsidy from Thurrock and Kent councils. However, all this ended in 2024, when the service was discontinued. There have been calls to bring it back, but the councils have stated that it would need to be able to operate without any subsidy, which presents a major hurdle.
Okay, so before I go, I found this staircase. And if I just take it up, it actually means I can get onto the beach and eventually into the water if I wanted. I really don't, but I can, and yeah, that's kind of cool.
Not to get too ranty here, but I do find it absolutely appalling the fact that the country claims not to have the money to help the council subsidise the ferry, but it does have almost £10 billion to build the Lower Thames crossing, which would be exclusively for cars, not least since the cars already have Dartford, which isn't that far away, but by public transport, well, you're about to see just how difficult that journey is.
So I think this might have been where the Tilbury to Gravesend ferry used to go from. This one could have been cars, and that one over there could have been passengers. Or that could be the international cruise terminal. I'm not actually all that sure. So there's a couple of things of note here. One is the London International Cruise Terminal, which is that building there. And somewhere in this car park is the site of the abandoned Tilbury Riverside station, where trains used to reverse coming from Tilbury town before going on to East Tilbury and onwards to Southend. I don't think anything really remains. I will be honest, this walk is a bit grim. It's clear that they've done something to try and spice it up a little bit. There's flowers over here, but there's kind of no avoiding it. This is a very industrial area. And props for having active travel signs up. These look new. It doesn't quite come up on camera, and frankly it's quite hard to see in real life, but I'm pretty sure that this is where the junction for Tilbury Riverside was. You can tell a lot easier on satellite view. Okay, I got distracted filming a freight train, and I'm not going to make the train I was planning to out of Tilbury town, but I'm going to start my timer when I get on the train at Tilbury town and end it when I get off at Gravesend. But you can add another 20 minutes to it if you want to count going from where Tilbury Riverside used to be. Now I'm just going to see how much a ticket between Tilbury town and Gravesend costs. £35.80. £35.80 for Tilbury Town to Gravesend. This is a return ticket, but £35.80. That's robbery. It is not coming up on camera at all, but they still have Tilbury Riverside on the departure boards as platform bus. I can't even go to Wetherspoons while I wait. The nearest one's in Gravesend. One thing that's quite weird about Tilbury Town Station is that you can't cross the station in the station. I'm on a footbridge going over the station, but it's a public footbridge. You don't need a ticket to be on here. But there isn't a footbridge inside the station. So you've got to go out the barriers, up, over, and back in. There's not a lot of stations like that. All right, the train from Tilbury Town is almost here, so let's get on the move. Ready? Let's get on. Ah, there's a butterfly on the train. Guess you're going to London now. So we are on the move and the timer has begun. Let's see if we can complete this journey in less than 2 hours. We are at Chafford 100, which I am at the wrong side of the train to film, which, fun fact, is the most busy single platform station in the country. Blimey, it has really just started to rain. Good thing I'm on this train and not out in that. The train has gotten a little more busy, so I'll probably not film very much until we get into London proper. But I should mention that I will be getting out at Limehouse. That will be the first stop of this journey. Wow, the weather keeps changing so much. You're gonna think I've filmed this on different days, but I haven't. I filmed it like 10 minutes apart from each other. Just pulling into Limehouse now. Don't quite know how long I'm going to have. I hope I can see this train off so I can film the livery properly, because I didn't do it quite right at Tilbury Town. But yeah, I am here now to change to the DLR. Here we are, Limehouse. And that is a DLR to Lewisham. Couldn't have timed that much better if you ask me. Let's get on this train. It looks like busy though, so might not be able to film that much. There's another C2C train coming in. You can't tell me anyone doesn't like the DLR. It's so fun. I mean, who doesn't love it? But anyway, I'm going from Limehouse to Lewisham through Canary Wharf, and this train isn't the quietest, so as I said, I may not film all that much. I will mention just from earlier, because I didn't have time, I really like the new C2C 357 livery, the one that was always on the 710s, but is now being applied to the 357s. Obviously it's not going to be here for long, but I think it's really nice. Most 357s do now have the livery, there's a few that don't. I really do like it. It feels like they've got a new lease of life, if you like, because they were really looking quite tired. Big win, managed to have a seat at the back of the train. So it's not quite the front, but you still get the nice views. At Island Gardens, and finally, after 52 minutes, we are crossing the Thames. Now, there are crossings of the Thames east of this, like the Arsenal, the Elizabeth line and the Jubilee line, but this was the easiest to get to from the C2C network. So we've just left Deptford Bridge, and we are almost at the 1 hour mark of our journey. In fact, there is a serious possibility that I could make it to Gravesend before 2 hours. It depends on my connection at Lewisham, but my connection at Limehouse was swift, so if I have a similarly fast connection at Lewisham, good chance I'll make it within 2 hours, so that would actually be quite fast for this journey. The only other way to do it is to get the bus that goes between Lakeside and Bluewater shopping centres, so C2C to Chafford 100, I think it's X something, it'll be on screen, to Bluewater, then go to Green Hythe and get the train to Gravesend. That takes about an hour and a half and sounds deeply unpleasant. These are your options to get between Tilbury and Gravesend. Looking good actually, we're pulling into Lewisham and there is a train to Gravesend in 8 minutes, so we take that. So I am at Lewisham, just getting up to platform 4 to get the train to Gravesend. Still going to be a while, so I'll probably end up at about 1 hour 50 for this journey, but still 2.5 kilometres, over 2 hours if we count going from Tilbury Riverside. Damn. You know, if I had a penny every time I was filming an unrelated video and 465908 came out, then I'd have 2 pennies. Which isn't much, but it's weird that it's happened twice. Also, this train looks quite busy, so I will probably not be able to film much because I'll just be standing. You know, that's not true anymore. I have just realised I could have probably gone via Greenwich. Could have got off there and gotten a Thames link, but I think this route is actually faster because of the timings of connections, because I've got this train before I would have gone on the Thames link at Greenwich. So I think this is slightly faster, but this could also work. I'm on one of these longitudinal seats to get on 469 for some reason, around near the toilet. It's not exactly prime seating, but it is what it is. The train is really starting to quieten out now. We've just left Bexley Heath, so I've had a seat most of the journey. I can't actually say that my journey has been unpleasant in any way. It's just long, and it's really long to get between 2 stations that are so close to each other. And it's raining again. It's more obvious from that window. What is this weather? I'm just kind of leaning out the window here at Dartford, and yeah, it is not just raining, it is hailing. Well, once again, let's hope it clears up by Gravesend.
The next station is Gravesend.
That's right. The next station is indeed Gravesend. So I will have finally completed the journey, and it does look like my luck with the weather's finally running out. The weather is absolutely appalling out there, but I've still got to go to the Thames to wrap up the video. But I'll finish the timer when the train opens its doors at Gravesend, and then I'll tell you how long it is. Will it be up to 2 hours? Let's find out. Alrighty, we are finally pulling in to platform 0, no less, of Gravesend. We're finally here. And I can also see just how long this journey took. Alrighty, Gravesend, and blimey neck, that's a lot of rain. Okay, complete coincidence, but apparently today is 40 years of Network Southeast. So, again, like, the fact that I got this train as a complete coincidence, wow, that's kind of impressive. Like, as of the day I'm filming this. Anyway, enough fawning over 465908. I have made it here to Gravesend in 1 hour and 54 minutes. So I'm gonna go to Gravesend Pier, or as close as I can, to wrap up the video. And then I'm going somewhere dry. Ladies and gentlemen, and all in between, Britain in June. Hey, since when did Kent have tram buses? Not very fun fact, Gravesend is where Matoaka, or better known as Pocahontas, died and is buried. The fact that her grave is somewhere in here has nothing to do with the fact that this place is called Gravesend, which is just a bit disappointing. Alrighty, here we are to where the Tilbury ferry once was. Apparently, the entrance was to that building there. I mean, that saying is still open, but there's someone in there, so I don't know what's going on with that, but we can go up here and we can get a look out to where I was a couple of hours ago. You can't really see it because the dock was in the way, but I was standing there on the other side of the river. If I move my camera, you might be able to see it, but I can't. So, here at Gravesend Pier, where the weather has turned nice again, because, like, what on earth is the weather doing? It looked like I filmed this on, like, 3 different days. This is probably where I'm going to end this video. So, I have gone from Tilbury to Gravesend and had a look at why it's like this. So, thank you for watching. Don't forget to like, comment, and subscribe. Thank you to all these supporters. Your names will be at the end of the video. And I'll see you in the next one. Bye-bye. And here it is. After long last, my quest has been successful. The Weatherspoons.